Senators leaving Washington last night for their month-long August recess after failing to reach a deal to advance dozens of President Trump's nominees.
Madeline Rivera joining us now from Washington with the very latest. Good morning, Maddie.
Good morning. Yeah, the Senate has now left D.C. with about 150 of President Trump's nominees still pending. Their departure is a bit of a U-turn after Senate Majority Leader John Thune says there were many offers made between him and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to try and reach a deal. Senate Democrats wanted the White House to unfreeze federal funding to pass a small batch of the president's non-controversial nominees, but the president thought Schumer was going too far. He told Republicans not to accept the offer, saying in part it is political extortion by any other name. Tell Schumer, who is under tremendous political pressure from within his own party, the radical left lunatics, to go to hell. Here's Thune.
This is historic and unprecedented obstruction when it comes to allowing someone who has been elected by the people of this country in a fairly significant, I would argue, mandate, an election, to get their person in place to do the jobs that the American people elected that president, President Trump, to do.
Schumer, meantime, says it's the president who blew up the negotiations.
Trump threw in the towel, sent Republicans home, and was unable to do the basic work of negotiating. Is this the art of the deal? Posture? Cajole? Stamp your feet and then give up? This says it all. Donald Trump tried to bully us, go around us, threaten us, call us names, but he got nothing.
Republicans now say they might consider changing Senate rules to speed up the pace of confirmations when they return from recess. Charlie, Katie, and Griff.
Thanks, Maddie.
Very much.
You know, it's amazing. You know, the Senate is a complicated place. It has a lot of rules in place, but the rules in place are designed to try to make sure you get good nominees in place. It's not designed, it was not intended to be designed to be used just to block your political opponents.
Yeah.
And it's breaking apart. And, you know, I love the Senate, but I'm sort of getting to the point now where I'm like, you know what? Pull out all the stops, just do what you have to do.
Well, it's the first time in history that not a single nominee that made it out of committee, including those with bipartisan votes, got a unanimous consent vote. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, yeah, so that's the chart that Leader Thune is holding up there. You saw in Maddie's report, and it goes all the way back to George H.W. Bush, and it's pointing out that 0% of civilian nominees received a voice vote. When you see the trajectory on that board, it's literally George H.W. Bush, Clinton, George W. Bush to Obama, all 90% or more on that. And now we've gotten to 0%, which really tells you there is an active, intended obstruction theme here.
150 plus nominees that still have not received a vote. So
it's just
going to be a while.
It's raw partisan politics, and it has nothing to do with actually being part of the checks and balances anymore.
Okie doke. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming at this late hour. Now, it's been a long day. Appreciate everyone being around. So let's be clear what happened. Donald Trump attempted to steamroll the Senate to put in place his historically unqualified nominees, but Senate Democrats wouldn't let him. We've been working all week to try and find a reasonable path to allow bipartisan Senate consideration, provided the White House and Senate Republicans met our demands. Obviously, the two sides disagree on a whole lot of things, but we were serious about trying to make some progress. But ultimately, Trump wouldn't agree. He took his ball, he went home, leaving Democrats and Republicans alike wondering what the hell happened. Trump's all-cap tweet says it all. In a fit of rage, Trump threw in the towel, sent Republicans home, and was unable to do the basic work of negotiating. Is this the art of the deal? Posture? Cajole? Stamp your feet and then give up? This says it all. Donald Trump tried to bully us, go around us, threaten us, call us names, but he got nothing. And he walked away with his tail between his legs. One of these days, Trump is going to have to learn that he needs to work with Democrats to help the American people. The Trump Republican go-it-alone strategy ain't working, and the American people aren't happy. As we look ahead to the fall, Republicans have to make a decision moving forward. They can work to find common ground with Democrats to deliver for our constituents, for our country. Just look at the 3 appropriation bills we passed this week. It shows that Democrats, when Republicans are willing to work with us, will work with them. Or the Republicans can continue to go at it alone, following Donald Trump down a dangerous path that hurts their party and hurts the American people. Because after all, who is hurt the most when Republicans go at it alone? It's the American people back home. When they go at it alone, they're hard, right, angry people who don't represent America get their way. But when they work with us, that can't happen because we won't let the hard right get its way. So when Republicans chose to go it alone, they ripped health care away from 15 million Americans. When Republicans chose to go it alone, they ended up imposing Medicaid cuts, shuttering rural hospitals. And now they're preparing to allow health care premiums to skyrocket. These health care premiums are going through the roof, and people are going to start learning about it as early as September and certainly in October. And they're going to hate it. This isn't just a $10 increase. These are hundreds and even thousands of dollars that they're going to pay more. And not just Medicaid, not just Medicare, but just about everybody. Because we've been talking to the health insurers, and that's what's happening because of the big, ugly betrayal that they call their BBB. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. My Republican colleagues know that when we are able to land bipartisan deals and get painfully close on a fair deal to bipartisan nominees, we can get something done. But of course, they tried. Some of them in the Republican caucus tried to work with us. Donald Trump pulled the rug out from under him. And again, no one knows what the hell he did and why he did it. They're befuddled. Many of the Republicans told me they're totally confused, but they all know one thing. Donald Trump didn't get his way. Donald Trump didn't get his way. Again, this shows it. He bullied us, he cajoled us, he called us names. And he went home with nothing. Nothing. Americans, whether Democrat, Republican, Independent, they want us to put them first. Instead, the Republican go-at-alone strategy has been devastating for American families. Higher prices on everything from health care to groceries to utility bills to essential goods. That is not what voters had in mind when they handed Republicans very narrow majorities in Congress and a paper-thin presidential victory to Donald Trump. So let me say it again. Sooner or later, Donald Trump, Mr. Art of the Deal, or so he claims, is going to have to learn that he has to work with Democrats if he wants to get deals, good deals, that help the American people. Going at it alone will be a failed strategy. It's the wrong choice for Republicans. It's the wrong choice for the American people. Ready for your questions. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to ask about a possible rules change, because Republicans are saying they want to do that in September. Some of their ideas are similar to things that Democrats proposed in the Biden administration. Is that something that
It would be a huge mistake for them to do it. A huge mistake. Yes. Because when they go at it alone, they screw up for the American people and for themselves.
Are there any rules changes that you could potentially agree to in September?
We should be working together on legislation to get things done for the American people. That's the way to go. Not changing the rules, because when they change the rules, they say only we're going to decide what's good for the American people. And every time they do that, the American people lose.
Ken, the Republican senators, a couple of them said to me that you were asking the White House to unfreeze some aid for the Palestinians in Gaza. Is that accurate?
Look, I'm not going to get into the details. Obviously, we'd all like to help Gaza. But the bottom line is, we were getting close on a whole lot of issues, and Donald Trump just pulled the rug out from under people. And even before that, when it looked like we were getting close a day before, he again called in and screwed it all up.
Did you ever talk?
They should stop listening to him. If they want to do what's good to the American people, they shouldn't be in blind obeisance to Donald Trump.
Can you tell us who you were talking to in the White House?
Look, I'm not getting into the details, but we've talked to the White House, and we mostly talked to Thune, who would then talk to the White House, and that didn't work out too well for Thune or the White House. Yes.
Do you think there's a possibility then that this could be revisited in September?
As a what?
It could be revisited in September and that you could reach some sort of deal then? Or is this completely...
Look, the bottom line is what we ought to be doing in September is making sure we do the appropriations bills in a bipartisan way. We ought to be making sure that we protect the American people from the hard right craziness that just hurts them all the time. And the only way to do that is bipartisanship. Last one.
Have you had any talks with them yet about CR or what the plan is for funding in September?
We've talked vaguely about broad issues, but not that specifically yet. We will. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Thank you. What do you think? The art of the deal?
I'm impressed you got that poster done.
We are more effective and more unified than the Republicans.
President Trump speaking out after the Senate is now in recess. Dozens of his nominees now left hanging. And I did want to share this with you. This is what President Trump posted on Truth Social, specifically focusing on Senator Schumer right there, a Democrat from New York, saying Senator crying Chuck Schumer is demanding over $1 billion in order to approve a small number of our highly qualified nominees who should right now be helping to run our country. This demand is egregious and unprecedented and would be embarrassing to the Republican Party if it were accepted. It is political extortion by any other name. Tell Schumer, who is under tremendous political pressure from within his own party, the radical left lunatics, to go to hell. Do not accept the offer. Go home and explain to your constituents what bad people the Democrats are and what a great job the Republicans are doing and have done for our country. Have a great recess and make America great again. To speak more on all of these political developments, I do want to bring in political analyst Richard Gordon. We appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thank you, Stephanie. It's really great to be on again and good to see you.
President Trump certainly not one to mince words, specifically targeting Senator Chuck Schumer. And we were playing out his remarks shortly before all the senators left for August right there. You know, can you talk about the holdup there in the Senate? It was a rare Saturday session, and now dozens of President Trump's nominees is still kind of left there hanging.
Sure. Well, look, there's a lot of things going on here, and both Senator Schumer and the president are pretty much sticking to their talking points. The president wants his nominees put through, and the Senator Schumer, wants things that he doesn't like about the Trump bill to be changed. He wants more money put into different things. Now, let's be honest about what's been going on. This didn't happen yesterday. This has been going on, since the Obama days at least. And what has happened is, back then when Obama was president, a lot of nominees were just left hanging, never even got a vote. And so they tried to change the Senate rules, and they did change the Senate rules for the lower courts. Well, guess what? When President Trump was elected the first time, he changed the rules for the Supreme Court. And now there are 3 people on the Supreme Court who might not have made it if the rules were different. So, both parties are playing this game here. And to be honest with you about the American people, they don't care about the game. They don't care about this internal struggle. They want things accomplished. Now, on a personal level, I believe, let's forget the courts for a minute, but I believe that a president, unless someone is totally unqualified and unfit, should get the people he wants to serve in his or her government. On the judicial side, look, the president's been putting up a bunch of people who they're getting through with 1 vote majority, or 2 votes, who the American Bar Association are saying are unqualified, who are extremely young, who just haven't really done a heck of a lot. And Democrats are really mad about that. And this is how they're expressing it. So what Schumer wanted was a deal to get, and this is what the president was upset about, was to get some things back for this. Yeah, we'll give you your nominees. many of whom will serve for life. We will give you your nominees, but in return, you got to help us on some of these things like rural hospitals or cuts in Medicaid or many of the other things that were done in the Trump bill that passed on July 4th.
And President Donald Trump is expressing anger at Senate Minority Leader Democrat Chuck Schumer. And as CBS News' Willie James Inman tells us, the president also told Senate Republicans to go home for a month-long recess.
President Trump lashed out at Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer late Saturday, telling him to, quote, go to hell, and abruptly ending talks over dozens of pending nominee confirmations. The president's Truth Social tirade came just hours before lawmakers were expected to strike a deal. Instead, the president told Republicans to, quote, not accept the offer. Republicans hoped to make a deal with Democrats and came close as the two parties and the White House negotiated over moving a large tranche of nominees in exchange for reversing some of the Trump administration's recent cuts to foreign aid, among other cuts. But there was no agreement, prompting the president to attack Schumer and the Senate to head home for a month-long recess.
We were serious about trying to make some progress. But ultimately, Trump wouldn't agree. He took his ball, he went home, leaving Democrats and Republicans alike wondering what the hell happened.
Prior to the face-off between the president and Senator Schumer, the Senate rapidly voted through a number of nominees. Among those given a green light, Jeanine Pirro, who was confirmed 50-45 as the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia.
And that was CBS's Willie James Inman reporting for us tonight.
Donald Trump's latest outburst telling Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to go to hell isn't just another unfiltered tantrum on Truth Social. It's a flashing red warning sign about the state of American democracy under authoritarian pressure. Let's be clear. This wasn't about a principled disagreement over nominees or procedure. This was about one man refusing to negotiate, refusing to govern, and instead choosing to blow up bipartisan talks because he couldn't get 100% of what he wanted. With more than 150 pending nominees still hanging in limbo, Trump ordered Republicans to walk away from a deal that would have advanced non-controversial confirmations in exchange for modest Democratic demands, such as restoring aid to struggling hospitals and communities. Schumer was right. This wasn't the art of the deal. It was the temper tantrum of a political arsonist. Trump didn't just walk away, he scorched the earth on his way out, abandoning the basic function of government in favor of partisan warfare. He didn't just sabotage his own team's negotiations, he publicly humiliated them, leaving even Senate Republicans baffled and leaderless. And what did the American people get? Absolutely nothing. No confirmed appointees, no restored programs, no stability. Just another MAGA meltdown fueled by ego and grievance. Trump wants loyalty, not governance. He demands obedience, not compromise. And once again, when he doesn't get it, he lashes out calling people names, undermining institutions, and encouraging Republicans to tear down what's left of bipartisan norms. The irony? This is the same Trump who built his brand on being a deal maker, yet every time real governing is on the table, he folds like a cheap suit. Schumer offered a path forward, Trump offered a tantrum. The stakes couldn't be higher. With healthcare premiums set to spike and essential services hanging in the balance, Republicans are choosing to follow Trump down a reckless path instead of doing their jobs. This isn't about politics, it's about whether we still have a functioning democracy. Trump's strategy is clear: obstruct, inflame, and deflect blame. But here's what the American people see: chaos. They see their government grinding to a halt, not because of gridlock, but because of sabotage. They see a former president who would rather burn it all down than admit he needs to compromise. They see a Republican Party too cowardly to stand up to him, even as he drags them toward political irrelevance. And they see Democrats, for all their flaws, actually trying to govern, trying to negotiate, trying to move the country forward. So here's the question we pose to viewers. How many more times are we going to let this happen? How long are we going to normalize behavior that would get any other leader fired or removed from office? How much longer will we allow one man's ego to hold American governance hostage? At some point, voters have to draw the line. At some point, senators, especially Republicans, need to grow a spine and stop enabling the chaos. And until that happens, we'll keep seeing these ridiculous episodes where nothing gets done, people suffer, and the only thing Trump builds is more resentment. So, if you're fed up, if you're tired of the showboating, the name-calling, the obstruction, then say something. Share this video. Comment below. Call out the hypocrisy. Because this isn't leadership. This is dysfunction. And the longer we pretend it's just politics as usual, the worse it's going to get. Stand up, speak out, and don't let Trump's chaos become our new normal.